Hey, terrific Tuesday, and welcome. Can you hear me now? Is my microphone on? I'm Larry Long Jr., CEO, that's Chief Energy Officer of LLJR Enterprises. Thrilled to be back for webinar number 3 on scoring success, how AI and data management transform sales coaching. Now, I got to tell you, I'm honored and we're absolutely privileged to welcome Michelle Terpstra. I brought the mic for you, Michelle,
Oh,
who's
yeah,
the
I need a pink one.
CEO and founder of Startup Sales Leadership Institute, as well as Sachin Sinha, the co-founder of Meet Record. Now, for all those that are listening in, that are tuning in, thank you for joining. Please be sure to submit any of your questions in the chat. Now, we're going to cover the basics, the benefits of AI, practical implementation, things that you can actually do, real world applications and use cases, how to overcome some of those challenges and concerns, as well as the future of AI and data. And today, we're going to wrap up with a lightning round. So I've got one question for you. Drum roll, please. Are you ready? Let's rock and roll and get down to business. Let's hop right in. We're going to start with Michelle. Michelle, if you don't mind, give us a brief introduction, and then I want you to roll right into my first question. And I want to know, what are some of those main challenges in sales coaching today, and how can AI help to address them? The mic is all yours.
Okay, I'm going to pretend I'm taking it over. Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm Michelle Terpstra, and as I was introduced before, I am a consultant and a sales coach. I act as a fractional CSO, CRO, and I've had over 1,000 companies go through my courses and programs over the last 5 years, varying in different types of businesses, for the vast majority B2B. And I'm really excited to be here. Before I owned my company, I worked for Fortune 500 companies in sales. And so I've kind of seen it all. I've seen it from the leadership perspective. I've seen it from the individual contributor perspective. And I'm really excited to talk about the impact of AI today and how it can help us as sales leaders in sales coaching. So one of the fundamental, most difficult things for anyone in sales leadership, regardless of the size of your team, is providing valuable feedback to your team so that they can improve. It is a huge time suck. Listening to just one call can take you like 90 minutes by the time you log in, you listen to the call, you provide the feedback, all of the things, right? And so what I love about the introduction of AI is the ability for sales team members to get feedback, initial feedback through AI, and to collapse time for the leader to review calls. And, this is hosted by my Meet Record. I've been a partner with Meet Record for a while. I absolutely love the product. And, Meet Record really helps you do that. And so it's a huge opportunity to collapse time, because I think that anyone who's in leadership is looking to buy back more time. If you're anything like me, when you look at your calendar and it's meeting after meeting after meeting, when are you supposed to do what you're supposed to do, which is to provide feedback, for your team members? So I really like that AI is collapsing time. And I think we have some more questions along this line, but I want to talk about building your own AI coach within your organization that can also help your team get the support it needs without you having to be there all of the time.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And those time savings and efficiencies are critical, because we all know, what time is it? Time is money. So Sachin, I'm going to pass you the other mic. I would love for you to give us a brief intro. I would love for you to share any additional main challenges in sales coaching that AI can help with, as well as I would love to get into your take around automatic call scoring. What is it, and how does it fit into the sales coaching equation and process? The mic is all yours. Thanks, Sachin.
Sure, Larry. Thanks. I like the blue one. I'll take it. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle, for joining in for this session today. And Larry, of course, has been there for the last 2 sessions as well. So yeah, see, AI is something people think AI will replace humans. We think AI will assist humans. So that's where we kind of that's the philosophy we have built our company and our products that we have as of today. And so what we see in terms of how the AI can help is basically identify basically gaps in your sales process, which of course takes human effort. So it's trying to mitigate that human effort or reduce that human effort when you are actually coaching. That's what Michelle kind of really highlighted really well, was that when are you going to actually listen to those calls, or at least even if you have to listen to one call in a day, that's like a lot of work. So AI can do that job for you by kind of reducing that effort, not just like just you can just go over the bullet points probably, which would take maybe a couple of minutes, and share that feedback quickly. Also, we have seen kind of AI come in terms of scoring those meetings, and that's basically a way to achieve the end goal, which is coaching, right? So the end goal is to help sales reps or your team to perform better, identify gaps, what they could do better in the next future calls or future meetings. Now, how does AI help with the scoring part is by automating that process, and also at the same time enable sales managers or sales leaders to kind of give in their inputs. So see, AI has been built by humans. Not AI does not did not build it on its own, right? So we have to still provide inputs to the AI for it to be able to help you do your job better. So it does kind of reduce the efforts or times that you'll spend on coaching. So the AI, the scoring basically works based on feedback from your previous calls, or it could also be based on a set of, let's say, a template or let's say a script that works for you. So you can start quickly with that, and then the AI starts kind of showing its magic over a few weeks or a few months, depending on what is the volume of your meetings or calls that you do.
Wow, that's powerful. And Sachin, I appreciate you sharing that we're better together. That AI is not going to replace us human beings, but it's really going to be a tool that we can leverage to be even stronger, identifying those gaps, automating the process, time efficiencies. Sachin, I'm gonna ask you a follow-on question, and I'm curious, how exactly can the AI driven insights, and I'm a sales coach, I'm a sales trainer, I'm working with professional sellers, I'm working with leaders that lead professional sellers. I want to know, how can it specifically improve the
Mhm.
accuracy and the efficiency of my sales coaching? I'm trying to help my team to all get better. How can AI do that for me?
Absolutely. I think you're getting to the specifics. You're now completely into the AI mode, I guess now. So yeah, definitely. So getting into specifics is what kind of really helps to kind of dive deeper into the kind of how exactly the coaching works, right? So now there are, like, let's say imagine a team and you have a 10 people team, for example, let's say. And not everybody is good at every skill in your sales process. Somebody might be very good at maybe closing a deal. Somebody might be very good at discovery calls. Somebody is very good at negotiations. Now, how do you kind of help each of them? Each of them has their own strengths and improvement areas, right? So the AI kind of quickly takes kind of understands what exactly is the need. So it does take behavioral kind of analysis of, let's say somebody is doing pricing discussions better, probably that person needs more help on maybe presenting the product or selling the product in that ways. So it can be user specific, or it can be stage specific. So let's say you're having multiple deals in your let's say at different stages in your pipeline, in your, let's say in your CRM, right? Now how do you kind of make sure that the AI scores meetings based on where exactly your deal is placed? So if you're having a discussion, let's say on a pricing discussion, accordingly that AI applies a different scorecard and a scoring method for that. Or if you are having a different kind of stage for your deals, accordingly this AI kind of takes care of that. So one is the human aspect where everybody needs a kind of personalized coach, and it's not possible for one human or one manager to or one leader to kind of give coaching to each one of them in different ways.
Yeah.
So the human element still comes in, but at least the AI helps you simplify that process and kind of provide a better coaching, which is based on users' improvement areas or what they need help on. So yeah, that's how we kind of have visualized it, and that's how it's implemented on our product as well, and generally how we see that going forward as well.
Wow, that's powerful. And I want to remind, thank you, Christina, for your comment. I want to remind everyone out there, please feel free to share as we have this discussion. We would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. We would love for you to submit any questions that you have. I know that Christina was sharing that the importance around learning to communicate with AI through the subconscious. She's getting deep with us, which I love. Now, speaking of getting deep, I want to know from you, Michelle, what are some of the key metrics that AI can help us track as we try to assess sales performance? We were just talking about 2025 goals and how we're all looking to do better in 2025. How can AI really help us get there, specifically around metrics and sales performance?
Yeah, so around metrics and sales performance, there are so many tools that have popped up to track these types of things, right? And I also feel like you have to know if you're improving, right? So I think if we're talking specifically around sales coaching and sales coaching metrics, how you're performing at different stages of the sales conversation, having some type of numerical association with your ability to perform at different stages allows you to chase the carrot. And any great salesperson, regardless of their level of expertise, wants to chase the carrot. That's why we're all in sales, right? And so if we have something we can chase, so for example, if I received a score on negotiation of 5, which I never would because I'm a great negotiator. Anywho, if you received the 5 and your goal was to get to 8, if you can identify how you can get there through your improved skill set around negotiation, and then AI can support you to rescore that through your sales conversations, that's a really important metric for success. Because I've coached so many sales teams, I've restructured sales teams, I've built sales teams from the ground up. And if they don't know what to focus on, they don't focus on anything. It's like herding cattle or cats, right? Like any great salesperson is really ambitious, right? And when you're ambitious and you have lots of interest and you want to do well, it's our job as leaders to help sales professionals focus so that they can grow. And if they don't have a metric assigned with it, they end up just floundering everywhere. And you can see that in decreased sales velocity, more deals lost, etc. So I think that's a really powerful way for AI to support us so that we know what KPI or metric we're chasing. And since the conversation is around sales coaching, being able to put numerical numbers around your performance and certain categories of a script or syntax, depending on what you're using, is really powerful.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you must have been in cahoots with my doctor. You're talking about chasing the carrot. My doctor told me I need to chase more carrots and less fried chicken.
Yeah, you know what? That would be a good recommendation for everyone.
We're going to mix in a salad on my side. Now, I'm curious, Michelle, I'm going to stick with you. If I'm a sales manager, how do I get started with automatic call scoring in my current setup? I've got my current ways that I go about. Any recommendations for actually implementing automatic call scoring?
So first of all, before you can even think about using AI, you have to make sure that you have a tight script or syntax. So that's step one. Step one is, what do you want people to say? What questions are important? What is the flow? Who is the most successful negotiator on your team? Listen to their calls, understand. So I think one of the biggest mistakes that sales leadership makes is they get all leadership-y. Okay. That's not a real word, but I'm making it up. Okay. And you forget what it's like to be an individual contributor. And so when you force things on your team without them being part of that decision-making process and influencing what your conclusion is, you're not going to get buy-in from them. They're going to look down on you. They're not going to listen. You're not going to have like any success. So you have to get in the trenches and understand what's happening. The disconnect between leadership and the people actually closing the deals can get quite big the larger the organization is. So the best leaders stay in touch with those on the ground. I can still remember when I was at Thomson Reuters. Gosh, I mean, I don't even know how many years ago that is. 15. Gosh, I'm old sometimes when I think about it. The VP of sales would fly out and look right along with me. It was back in territory sales days when I was doing that. So literally in my car all day. He would barely speak at meetings. He was just observing. He wasn't trying to take away, my flame in the meetings or reestablish authority. And, that really helped him make decisions from the top down on what needed to happen. I wasn't the only one he did that with. He did it all the time. So before you start to think about AI, you need to make sure what you're asking people to do is actually what you should be asking people to do, and documenting that. Because if you do end up using a tool like Meet Record or other AI supportive tools, then you need to put it in there so people can be scored, right? And so I think that that's something we often forget, is to check in. Is our syntax, is our script, is our flow still working before you want AI to start scoring your team on it?
Wow, that's powerful. So what I'm hearing, Michelle, is I got to make sure my house is in order before
Yes.
I can even explore, before I can even begin to maximize and utilize AI.
Yes, 100%. And you need the buy-in of your team, because individual contributors on sales teams run the show. And if you don't have people bought into the idea of AI sales coaching, it's going to burn to the ground. So you need the buy-in.
Wow. The consensus of my team. And
Yep.
avoiding, I like that. We're making up words today, avoiding being leadershipy.
Leadershipy. Yes, correct. That is my technical word. Watch it get added to Urban Dictionary tomorrow.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We're groundbreaking here. Sachin, what are some of the common pitfalls that we should be wary of, that we should look to avoid when we do adopt AI into our sales coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start from where Michelle left, basically, which is getting the basics right. So AI is not going to start working without your inputs, and having a script or a syntax or a template that works for you. And you would have been doing sales before the AI came in, right? Or before you implement AI coaching. So you'd know your basics or ground rules in terms of what works for you, right? So that's of course there. You have to kind of follow the ground rules or have some sort of ground rules at least until that evolves with AI analyzing your calls going forward, right? So let's say you might have identified, okay, probably this script works, and that's how you start. But let's say after a period of time, let's say a couple of months or a month, even let's say minimum at least a month, let's say 30 days, you realize that, okay, your template was not good enough, but AI is suggesting that, okay, probably there could be more improvements in your sales process. Let's say you are missing out on certain things in your pitches, or maybe in your negotiation calls or your pricing calls or your discovery calls, right? So that's the basic. Then the second thing we see people making kind of a real big error is expecting AI to do the entire job.
Yeah.
So AI, as we have discussed time and again, that it needs human inputs. So if you expect that you feed a template or a syntax and it starts working, it will start working, but it will get better if you feed some data into it. Let's say, especially in our case, in our system as well. So if you, as a manager, you go ahead and give scores randomly, and that you can do maybe once in a while. Not, you don't have to score every meeting. Let the AI do the majority, 95% of your job, or even 98%, and at least give scores to 5% of the meetings. The AI learns from your scoring patterns, and it gets better with time. So that is the third thing. And the fourth thing we have seen is people designing a template which works, basically does not kind of align with everybody. It might be one single template, but let's say somebody is more conversational, somebody is slightly transactional in their sales behavior or sales, how they do sales. So it works different templates for everyone. But here we are trying to kind of implement one single template. Sometimes it might not work, especially if you, let's say, if your sales is long sales cycle. So there might be a different template for a different set of individuals. So if you have, let's say, two teams, one is based out of, let's say, your in one region, and another is based out of East Coast, let's say, for example, or West Coast. So you can have actually the behavioral things also change in terms of the customers that you pitch. So your pitch also has to change. And so these are a few, two, three things, but it all starts with the basics, I would say.
Come on now, we're taking it back to school. We're going back to the ABCs, back to basics. And you made a great point right there that we need to, don't get it twisted. AI isn't going to just magically, I wish we had that magic pixie dust. I wish we had that silver bullet, but it's not going to just magically do our job. We still have to do the work, back to basics. I love it. Thank you so much. Anything to add there, Michelle?
I'm on mute. Okay. So I think that what's really important, the key to this conversation is AI needs the input. And I want to really enforce that. So I want to tell you a story. I have an AI bot. Her name is Peaches, super on brand. Okay. So Peaches is my thought partner is what I like to call her. And so I fed Peaches a lot of my IP, my templates, my syntax, my scripts, and I let her study me. And the reason why this is really important is so then she's more powerful in helping me when I need things. So for me to accelerate the production of really important sales assets for my clients, I need AI or a human, right? And in this case, AI is really helping me. And so instead of paying someone $60,000, $70,000 a year, I have a $20 per month AI bot that is doing this, okay? And so I can say, hey, Peaches, I'm going to tell you about a scenario. I need you to use XYZ template that you've already updated in your memory, and I need you to come back with me on it. And what's great about this is, I'm just using Chat GPT. There's lots of different options, but you can have two-way conversations on your phone or your laptop now. So even when I'm driving, she updates my daily notes. She's my thought partner, all of the things. It's really, really powerful. And it helps us, accelerate. And, I think that that's a really important piece of the puzzle. If you're not training your bot and building that relationship, it's not going to work. And when I tell people I'm doing this, they're like, well, then you're putting your IP into the Ethernet and everyone's going to steal it. And I was like, well, I'm not concerned about that, because if you get left behind and you're not adopting AI, you're going to be in the ice age and no one's going to value your consulting, your coaching. You're no longer a thought leader. So I've taken the approach that, she still needs me. She's not completely independent, right? And so it's the preference that I've taken, and I'm now training bots for my clients as well. So when I go in, I'm able to do that. So what's really important is that you evolve as a sales coach or a leader instead of being scared about change. And will it change what your sales team structure looks like? Absolutely. You will not be putting the same butts in the same seats, right? But there is an opportunity for people that you value in your organization to change what they do slightly to be valuable for AI and the movement. So for example, if you run a big SDR team, you probably could cut your your SDR team in half. I'm just going to say it. Okay. You can cut them in half. And you can use AI tools, like I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. Smart Lead, Seamless, Apollo, WooSender. So you take your best performing SDRs and now you make them AI managers, okay? And so they're still in your organization. They're still valuable. They still have the context of what it looks like to book. And then you only have humans interact when there's positive intent. Versus someone you're paying $60,000 to $75,000 a year to go like this when AI can do it now. Pay people for what they should be doing and align it with their talent. And for the most part, the people you want to retain in your organization are going to be excited for the opportunity because they get to grow. And, your AI manager didn't exist 2 years ago, or if it did, very minimally, right? So it's huge opportunity for growth on your team as well.
Wow, Michelle, I got to tell you, my mind is blown. You just dropped the mic there. That was a hot take, and I am here for it. Hold on, y'all. Someone is knocking at my door. Who is it? Oh, that was opportunity knocking at my door and knocking at all of our doors. As Michelle said, we can leverage AI to be more efficient, to eliminate some of the headcount and increase our production. Now, I want to pause because I just looked on LinkedIn and we've got some folks that are tuning in live. And I'm a mind reader. I know that some of them are scratching their head and they're saying, wow, what Michelle said, ooh, that's hot. What Sachin said, ooh, that's got me thinking. Please share with us what's on your mind because we're talking about AI. We're talking about data management and the transformation. That means that next year is going to be different than this year when it comes to sales, sales leadership, sales process, and sales coaching. Let us know your thoughts. Go ahead and get your Twitter fingers ready. Go ahead and ask us any questions that you have because I know that sellers are curious what's on your mind. Now, as we wait for those questions to come in, I've got questions. I want to get into some real world applications and use cases. And Michelle, we're going to stick with you because right now you were talking about Peaches. You were talking about Peaches twins. You're helping other AI bots out there for your clients. I'm curious, how has AI transformed the process of evaluating customer interactions in those sales calls? Because we're still picking up that 500-pound phone. How has AI changed that process?
Okay, so first of all, sales team members can get immediate feedback. Okay, so that is extremely valuable. Back in the day, or just a year ago, you'd have to wait for a human to give you feedback, right? And so that when you can get feedback in 5 minutes from summaries from calls and emails that go directly to the seller, it's fresh in your mind so that you're able to improve a lot faster. Like just imagine like you have a call at 9 a.m. and on a Tuesday, and your manager finally has time to review your call Thursday at 4 p.m. And you're like, I've had like 20 calls. I don't even remember that anymore. And so it's hard to take the feedback and to improve. But when you can get it almost in real time by an AI assistant, that is so powerful. And it also puts the onus back on the seller. And this is something I love to talk about, is it's not just sales leadership's job to improve a seller's performance. It is the seller's job to improve their performance. And it's super profound. And now you have better access to third-party input from AI to help you in your journey in becoming a better seller. And I think that that is a really, really key component because I think about my personal development journey and I had plenty of support. I've had great managers, great leadership. I've been really lucky. However, if I just sat there waiting for feedback, I wouldn't be where I am today. And it was a lot harder for me to do that without all the technology and the AI that's now available. So if you're a seller right now and you want to get better, then you can totally cut the line, collapse time using AI as your partner.
Wow, I like that. You're reducing the time. I can get immediate real-time feedback. I can learn, I can grow, and the onus is on me. I call it epic sales qualities. The E is entrepreneurial. It's having that entrepreneurial mindset. As a seller, we should be running our business as business owners. The P is preparation and planning. I'm now ready. I take the feedback from Tuesday morning's call and I can apply it to Tuesday afternoon's calls. The internal drive and desire to dig into the data, to take my respective game to that next level. And then the C, I'm gonna click on the C. It's having that courage to take that action. It's having that commitment to be all in. And speaking of all in, Sachin, I know that you're all in. How do different industries use AI in sales coaching differently? What have you seen? And what lessons can we learn from some of these examples that are across different industries?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and I would love to share some of our live kind of examples. I mean, of course, they are kind of some of them are pretty big companies as well. So, like, I mean, when we started this business as well, or started building this product specifically, we never imagined, let's say, a law firm using our product, or let's say a company a 40-year-old pest control company for that matter, and they are pretty advanced, right?
Sachin,
It's the
I'm
same thing.
sorry. I don't know if it was just me, but you kind of broke in and out. You were electric. That was lightning right there. Can you repeat it? The last thing I heard you say was the law firm. You never imagined a law firm would be using Meet Record.
Yeah, exactly. The AI, I mean, and that too, like we never imagined a law firm using a personal injury management law firm kind of using Meet Record or any AI kind of product. So they are like really adopting AI very quickly. And the reason is that they see this their landscape changing very quickly as well. If they don't get onboarded on this train, AI train, probably they might miss the bus in the long run, right? So that's where we see, and then of course, traditional companies, software companies, which you expect them to use AI, but again, there also we see a lot of adoption there. But these traditional industries is what keeps us kind of going. That okay, if we can help pest control company do the job better in terms do the sales better, in terms of sales coaching or in terms of helping identify the gaps in the sales process, or let's say even let's with the sales training and onboarding of their new sales reps. And then there are of course industries in the consulting. So let's say one of the biggest gym consulting companies, Gym Launch, uses our product. They have been with us for more than 2-3 years, almost like it's ever since we started. So these kind of course, the traditional software companies are majority where they are the AI first companies, but you kind of be really surprised with these kind of companies how they use it. Now, just to take one use case, so there's this company law firm. I wouldn't be able to name them, let's say, but let's say they are pretty big in their domain. So what they do is, so they have a lot of these calls coming in, and they have to handle the calls. And as Michelle mentioned, like live feedback. So as soon as, let's say, the call ends, the AI gives a score, and the sales rep knows that okay, what they did or did not do. And on the next call, probably within that could be the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, they are able to kind of draw from that feedback. The manager can actually walk over to that sales rep and say that, hey, you probably missed this thing on your sales call. So that's how impactful we have seen. There are different industries, as I said, like very varied, kind of almost like a different buffet of flowers kind of thing, where you have different kind of companies using products, especially AI, in different ways.
That's amazing. And I think I heard you said a law firm, pest control, and a gym. Oh my goodness. Now this is super timely because earlier today I spoke with a Fortune 200 company that was talking about their sellers and their sales team being able to get coaching, being able to get feedback. Right before we hopped on, I had a call with I guess you would call it a mid-size, and they're a tire and auto service. They've got 60 plus locations, and the owner realizes that technology is out there, but he doesn't know how to apply it. He doesn't know how to use it. He had a ton of questions, and I told him I don't have all the answers, but I know somebody who knows somebody, and I'm looking at both of them right here. Now I'm going to call in the expert for this question. I want to know, Michelle, how do different industries use AI in sales coaching differently? Oh, that's I want to ask you the same question as Sachin. What's been your experience of different industries using AI?
Yeah, so I think that there's no industry that wouldn't benefit from AI. That's the simple answer. And what I love to say is that money loves speed. So if you're slow, you're not making money. And that's the end, period. And so I encourage fast decisions. I encourage incremental changes so that you can progress quickly without making too many mistakes, managing risk. And so if you're listening to this right now, I cannot think of one industry that could not benefit from AI. So I challenge you within 30 days to implement something with AI. So perhaps that's Meet Record, perhaps that's working with the Chat GPT in order to improve your objection handling vault. That's like one of my favorite things to use it for. So we all get objections. They're all the core objections: money, time, partner. I mean, you guys, anybody who's ever sold anything in your life, it's the same objections over and over again, right? However, how you handle and navigate them is very different depending on what product you're selling, right? And so it's really, I encourage companies right now, the lowest hanging fruit that requires the least amount of work is to just work with the bot to have a conversation around objections. Tell them about your business. You have to, prompts are really important. So prompt engineers, that position also did not exist 2 years ago, right? Universities are now have programs on how to be a prompt engineer. Like, it's crazy, right? So the prompt's really important. So this is what you need to include in the prompt: about your business, the common objections, why, okay, why they object, stories of success, story of failure, and then start to have a conversation with your bot about, like, what should the response be. You can start to train it. There's also ways, if you follow great sales influencers and you like the way they speak and coach, maybe it's me, I don't know, right? Say, respond like Michelle Terpstra. And because I'm feeding AI, it knows who I am. And all the big influencers are doing it as well. So I would encourage you to use that. Or if there's like a favorite book that you like Chris Voss, Never Split a Difference, be like, hey, how would you use tactical empathy like Chris Voss would in response to this? And you'll get it, right? So it can be really, really powerful, and anyone can use that. Like in ChatGPT right now, you have the ability to add team members now. So you can train one bot, add team members, and everyone can work along with this. So it's just so powerful. And if you're not using it right now, you are literally missing the mark. So it is worth every dollar to pull in a consultant to know how you can use AI in your industry. And if that's not in your budget right now, for whatever reason, go do exactly what I just told you to do.
Wow, that's powerful. And I love money loves speed. That's a theme for today, and it so truly does. Right now, go ahead and get started. Now, Michelle, there's so much upside. You've got me excited. I'm excited about the future ahead, and I've got a vision of how great things can be. Now, on the flip side, I want to know, what are those challenges, the main challenges of relying on AI for sales coaching? There's got to be some sort of potential downside, and how can we mitigate those risks and challenges?
Yeah, risk mitigation comes along with any innovation, not just AI, right? So anytime that there is something new you're introducing, there's the inherent risk. So what I like to do is to think about the worst case scenario. Okay. What is the worst thing that could happen if I do X, Y, and Z with AI? Then create mitigation tools and safeguards along those. Okay. So for example, don't just set it and leave it, right? Like, you have to go back and see what it's saying. So what I would do, for example, if you were using Meet Record, and I've done this with clients, like, this is not an uncommon practice, you put the script in so that it knows what to score on. But for like the first week or two, you should probably look at the scores, right? Because if they're scoring low, but you like what that person's saying, you need to work with Meet Record. You need to adjust your script. You need to do all of these things. You need to provide your own scoring to that conversation so it can start to respond. So that's a risk. If you leave it all up to AI and you're not part of the process, then that's a risk, right? The other thing is adoption. Salespeople, especially successful ones, really don't like to be told what to do. It is just the way it is. Okay. Like, I remember when I was first told I had to use Salesforce, I was used to like pen and paper and like a pencil. And I mean, this is like old school, before you were using any of that. And so they introduced Salesforce, and everyone was like, heck no, I'm not touching this. There was so much resistance, because you know what they were worried about is, oh, if the company knows who I'm prospecting, then I'm not of value, because they can fire me at any time, and it's all in this like database now, right? Yeah. So I remember that from like forever ago. So, but the mistake that the organization made is, remember how I said earlier, you have to make your Salesforce part of the decision? They did not do that. They just put it on everyone. There was no communication. Like, I would equate it to like Doge right now, right? So when Elon comes in January and he's the head of Doge and he starts making all these cuts, if he forgets the communication element, it doesn't matter how good he's doing, it's going to hit him back in the face, right? And so we have to do that anytime there's types of change. So instead of just saying, hey, everybody, we have our onboarding call for Meet Record on Tuesday, show up without any context, then you're not going to get the buy-in. So you as a leader use your own negotiation and influence skills to get the buy-in. And then you won't have as much resistance from the sales team. And that's a really, really important part of the puzzle.
Now,
I'm in the game of change management. Like that's what I am. Every time I get hired, it's change management. Like things are changing. And so maybe one day I'll write a book on change management.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I certainly encourage you. And Sachin, welcome back. Because on my mind, and I still have it in the back of my head, Michelle said that we can eliminate half of our SDR team. And I know there's some SDRs out there shaking in their boots because they're concerned about AI replacing humans. Now, I've heard the theme that we still need the human element, but as Pramod asked right here, AI can improve sales coaching, the whole process. But how do you address the concerns that sales professionals have that AI is going to replace their human coaches? And how do you bring that awareness? How do you communicate with them the power within AI? I would love to hear what your thoughts are, Sachin.
Yeah, that's a very interesting aspect, and it's one of the challenges as well. So with any new technology, as I think I can again, I think Michelle's example was perfect. Where Salesforce was back in the day, when people were very skeptical about even Salesforce. And just imagine like people moving from Windows to Mac. I remember some of my colleagues were like, I mean, almost like I'm not moving to Mac. But once you move to a new technology, then you adapt and kind of you find that okay, you're not never going back to a Windows operating system, right? So that's the thing with AI. So, but yeah, sometimes the concerns are also genuine, but you can't progress without adapting to that new technology, right? So, and of course, if either you move with the times or at least stay ahead of the times, that's the ideal situation. But if you can't stay ahead with the times, at least move with the times, which is adopting AI in some ways. And if you don't do that, you're going to be left behind. But the concern that I mean, some of the let's say SDRs can be replaced with bots. That is partially true, I would say. But then there are other jobs in sales as well. Sales is always going to be human centric. So either you let's say you let the as in like Michelle kind of listed out a few tools that you can use for prospecting, and then you come in basically upgrade your skills to become account executive in a closing role. So why do you want to, let's say, do the prospecting part where let's say, AI can do the job better than you as a human, right? So that part of the thing, something which there's a lot of adaptability required, both from the end users as well as somebody who's implementing this. So let's say let's say, as a sales manager, probably you'd calm down your team, trying to help them understand how they can get more sales out of AI or more business out of AI. But yeah, that if you are feeling threatened or if you're feeling scared in terms of not adopting AI just because it's going to replace your job, then probably you are still stuck in 2000s. So that is something you can't really go ahead and kind of without adopting AI, you can't be there. Let's say, just imagine 5 years later, like you can't even exist without that.
So can
Love
I
it.
couple on
Michelle, I
this?
know you had something to add. What you got?
I'm like chomping at the bit right now. Okay. So this is the thing is I'm going to say AI will replace humans. Period. Okay. So, but AI will also create new jobs that never existed.
Exactly.
So this is the really key point. And I also have never met an SDR that wants to be an SDR for the rest of their life. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's an entry-level position where you earn your way up the food chain to make more money and to not be the one making all the outbounds. Okay. So this is just another path for promotion for SDRs. So companies may not need as many SDRs, right? But I absolutely agree with you. It's a human experience. Sales is a human experience. So if you up level your skills, you'll have job security. But if you sit there and do nothing, you will not.
Wow, that's powerful right there. Oh, goodness. You got me thinking. And I love AI will replace humans as well as create new opportunities. My question is, to anyone who's watching this live, to anyone that watches this replay, which side are you going to be on? I'm always a big believer that when one door closes, a window of opportunity generally opens up for us. Ooh, are you ready to seize that window of opportunity? So as we talk about it, I'm curious about both of y'all. Where are we going? What is the future of AI, specifically around sales coaching? Where does it take us? What are some of the upcoming trends that we should be on the lookout for that could really impact the future of sales coaching?
So do you want to do something fun right now?
I'm always up for fun. Come on now.
I think I'm going to ask Peaches. Let's see what AI thinks. Okay, so I did not plan this. I have no idea what Peaches is going to say, but give me a second while I ask her, and I'm going to tell you what Peaches says.
I love it. I love it. Let's see what Peaches has to say. While Peaches is loading up, Sachin, what are some of those upcoming trends that you're seeing on the future?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I think is very predominantly, and that's coming from the big elephant in the room, Salesforce itself is Agent Force, which is basically replacing SDRs, which Michelle also highlighted. So that is going to happen. We like it or not, that's going to happen either ways. The other thing we see, especially in terms of coaching, is a hybrid coaching model. It's if you try to implement fully AI automated model, there might be gaps in still you might still find gaps in your sales process or how you do sales, but a hybrid model is what I or we see generally as a future of specifically coaching, sales coaching. And then generally, if you look at hybrid coaching itself, there are going to be like automated bots and all kind of doing the job, a lot of jobs for you, which is also related to your CRM. Let's say automating, let's say certain tasks in your CRM, or automating data capture in your CRM, which is a lot of that time is taken by CRM to kind of just fill in the data. And if you don't have data in CRM, of course, you'll not have the correct forecasting. So automation is what we see, revenue automation, anything related to revenue. We see that getting automated in the next few years. And of course, the agent thing, SDR thing automated. And then the other is hybrid model. These are the three things we see definitely going to come into force very, very soon. If some of them are already in progress, but yeah, some of them will get completely implemented and change the whole landscape.
Oh, I love it, Sachin. Now it's the moment that we've all been waiting for. I can't wait to hear what does Peaches have to say. And we're going to give Peaches all the microphones. Please share.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to share what my prompt was because it's a really important piece of the puzzle here. Okay, so I said, what are the trends for 2025 for AI-based sales coaching? Please respond like you are Michelle Terpstra, the expert in change management and sales innovation. Okay, so I reminded her to respond that way. Okay, as we approach 2025, AI is revolutionizing sales coaching, offering innovative solutions that enhance performance and drive success. Here are the key trends shaping this transformation. And so I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's really long. So I'm just going to give you the highlights of what she came back for. 1, real-time personalized coaching. 2, advanced predictive analytics. 3, hyper-personalization at scale. Oh, juicy, love that one. Okay. 4, seamless integration of AI assistance, like we just mentioned. Enhanced sales forecasting. Yay, we want to know what's coming down the pipe. Okay. 6, evolution of sales roles, which we've been talking about. And ending up with this is embracing the AI-driven trends is essential for sales teams aiming to excel in an evolving landscape. By integrating AI into their processes, organizations, it can enhance efficiency, personalize customers and personalize customer interactions, and achieve superior sales outcomes.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing. Okay. And one thing she brought up, which I love, because there's always like one nugget that I like had forgotten to talk about, is the benefit to the customer or potential client. So let's talk about that for 1 minute here. The personalization at scale is so powerful. Okay. And the reason why I bring this up is like we've all been recipients of outbound communication or follow-up that's like super generic. Like I literally loathe, hate, get super triggered by emails that say just following up. Like I about want to die. Like I can't even take it. I have like actually like a visceral reaction to it. I don't know if that's a me problem or whatever it is. Okay. So that's like my number one thing. With the ability to use AI, no one should ever say just following up. Because what is that about? That's about you, not the person who's receiving the email. The best types of follow-up and when you're trying to get engagement and a response has to be about the other person. So you should never lead that way. And you can use AI to help customize that outreach based on what the conversation was prior. Okay. That benefits that relationship. It also builds a better brand, a better customer experience, et cetera, et cetera. So personalization benefits your business and AI can do it at scale.
Wow. Wow. That is powerful right there. Now I want to ask this question on behalf of the sales coaches, of the sales professionals that want to be coaches. I know they're wondering. They're saying, hey, Michelle, hey, Sachin, hey, Larry, this is all good. What can I do right now to prepare for all of these ongoing advancements in AI and data management when it comes to my industry? What should I actually do right now?
The best way to learn is to do. That's it. Period. Pick something, go with it. Meet, record, ChatGPT, the AI assistant in Salesforce. Like raise your hand to say, I will help implement this. Even if you don't know what the heck you're doing, it's okay. All right. This is an opportunity to see yourself grow. Raise your hand, say you're going to take it. You're going to implement some level of AI into the organization. You're going to own it. And guess what's really cool? AI can help you do it. Okay. So AI can teach you. You can join certification programs. You can work with someone who's an expert in sales innovation like myself to help you figure it out. Like there are so many opportunities, but if you just sit there and you're going to like try to study and you're reading books and you're doing all the things, like, no, you got to just do it. If you don't do it, you're never going to learn, period.
Wow, Michelle, are you sponsored by Nike? Just do it.
Do it.
The Olympics and Paralympics are gone, but I think she said, on your mark, get set, go, and grow, because the opportunity is there.
Yeah, well, I am in Park City, Utah, and that's where the Winter Olympics just got awarded to. So, maybe it's on my mind.
I love it. Sachin, what do you have to add?
Yeah, I mean that's I mean it all gets down to the what you have to do. You have to implement something, right? So it could be just starting with as simple as just training your bot or training something like what Peaches. By the way, Michelle, you have trained her well. The answer to that question was pretty good and very insightful. Uh, yeah, so this coming to the main point, like another thing, I mean, is like especially if you are managing a sales team. Start with as basic as kind of whatever you are doing. Basically, you're giving a script to everybody, maybe a Google Doc or whatever, like Excel, Google Sheet or something. Try to implement that in a tool instead of putting it out as a hard copy or a soft copy. Try to implement that in some ways using AI. And there are lots of tools. Of course, we are there. We check out. Remember us. But yeah, you can of course use any other tool as well. Try to implement. That's the basics of it. Even if you can't do that, at least start recording your calls, analyze, at least give some insights based on what is happening in your calls. Even if you don't start with coaching, maybe on day 1 or even day 30, at least start with analyzing your calls and getting insights with the help of AI. So yeah, doing is basically getting started, the first thing, and then things will pick up from there. And then it kind of sticks with you as well. So once you start doing one thing, then you realize that, okay, what's the power, how powerful this is, and you kind of keep building on that. So you don't want more of it. So it's like something which grows on you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Grows on you like fungus in a good way. Now, we had a question, and I love this. Pramod asks, how can sales managers, sales coaches ensure that the AI-driven insights are actually are actually actionable and lead to real improvements in sales performance. This all sounds good, but when the rubber meets the road, I've got targets that I need to exceed. What you got for me, Michelle?
Track it. Okay. Like I know that seems so basic, but it's not. Decide what you're going to measure and track it and make it visible to your team. You can even do a leaderboard and get people excited. Have some type of prizes at the end that people actually want. Okay. Don't do anything cheesy. I once had, oh my gosh, I once had the sales manager who would roll a cart around that he had put like gumballs in this like machine. And if you did something, he'd give you a quarter and you could like crank it. And the gumball had like a prize on it, but it was like a Starbucks gift card for like $5 or something. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So make it a meaningful, please make it meaningful. Okay. That people actually want it and desire it. Remember, salespeople in a good way have egos. So like, what's the hottest thing right now on the gift list? And like, really think about it. Okay. So first of all, track it, measure it. Maybe perhaps create a leaderboard on it, and make sure that you instruct your team of how they can improve their scores. That's how you make it actionable. Don't leave it for guessing. And I think that's really, really important. And if you're leaning on a company like Meet Record, I can attest to this. Every single time I have a question, super accessible. Hey, this is the use case. Can we do this? Hey, having this issue, what do you think? And, having engineers help you that are experts is really super valuable. And, that's a benefit of using Meet Record over something like ChatGPT, right? And so I encourage you to work with innovative startups like Meet Record to exceed your goals and to be viewed as that thought leader when it comes to sales innovation.
I love it. I love it. We're going to track it. We're going to measure it. We're going to gamify with rewards that people actually want. No more gumballs getting stuck between your teeth. Sachin, what do you got for us? Before we get into the lightning round, I'm excited because I've got 3 fire questions for our lightning round. What you got, Sachin?
Yeah, so I think, of course, you have to track it. Otherwise, how will you even measure it, right? So, and tracking starts with as basic as having a simple scorecard based what your team is doing, and also sharing slightly more personalized feedback. And sometimes when you share feedback as a team lead or a sales manager, probably you tend to get the human bias comes in. So you might like a person's style, you might not like a person's style, but when AI is giving that feedback, that is completely non-biased, and what the AI sees in your meetings or what you are doing in your calls or meetings is what exactly the AI will give its feedback based on. So make it like really kind of personalized and without having a bias into it. So at least that's how we have kind of visualized it, and that's something which works as well, because the feedback from people like Michelle who have been on this platform for a while kind of really helps understand what exactly the product is doing right or what the product is not doing not right. So the having a personalized feedback, having an individualized feedback, kind of really makes sense.
I love it. We're in our lightning round. We've got 60 seconds. I need y'all to keep this short and sweet. We talked about the prompts and prompt engineers, data integrity. Why is it critical in terms of leveraging AI for effective sales coaching?
Just like a CRM, it's only as good as the data that what you put in it, right? And it's the same thing for AI. So clean data, informed data has to go in because the quality out's only as good as it is in. And think of the analogy with CRMs.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Michelle. Sachin, morale. Can AI tools boost the morale of my sales team?
Of course, because without AI, you'll have to tap on somebody's shoulder to find that answer for a particular question. With AI, the answer is right in front of you. You have to use your fingers, Twitter fingers, like you said, right? So the confidence that definitely increases my as confidence for a sales rep in terms of being able to find their own answers. And of course, there are of course your colleagues to help you. But generally, if you're let's say working remote or let's say working on your own, so you find your own answers, and that gives you the confidence that, okay, you can access that answers without, let's say, having to talk to anybody, or that definitely boosts your morale.
Final question for both of y'all. We'll start with Sachin, and then we'll save the best for last with Michelle. What's that one word that you feel as you think about the power of AI in the future?
Yeah, I mean, real-time feedback, that's where we are getting to.
Okay. Michelle, one word that describes your feeling of AI in the future.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love
Wow,
it.
that's powerful.
I love it and powerful. That's my word. You're a mind reader, Sachin.
Mm.
Speaking of powerful, I think I speak on behalf of every attendee here. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Sachin. Thank you so much, Meet Record, for sharing and hosting this amazing event. Thank you for everyone who attended and viewed. We're here to help. We encourage you to finish 2024 strong. And in 2025, make sure you step into that opportunity of leveraging AI to transform your sales coaching, your sales team. Signing off for now. We wish you a terrific Tuesday.